one of the smartest and most exciting choices Outlander, Blood of My Blood, has made so far is that it doesn't simply rely on nostalgia. Rather than just showing us younger versions of familiar characters, the prequel actively reshapes the Outlander universe by revisiting relationships and storylines that never existed in Diana Gabaldon's novels. That creative freedom is exactly what has fans buzzing, especially now that it opens the door for emotional callbacks in Outlander's upcoming 8th and final season. At the center of that excitement are the characters longtime viewers never expected to see again: Murdoch Fitzgibbons Fraser and Yocasta Mackenzie. Their romance was one of the show's most beloved departures from the source material. In the novels, Murdoch dies at Culloden, long before Yocasta ever becomes a romantic possibility. The television adaptation, however, made a bold choice to keep him alive, largely because Duncan LaCroix's performance resonated so deeply with audiences. That decision allowed the writers to explore a surprising and deeply moving love story between Murdoch and Yocasta, brought to life by Maria Doyle Kennedy. What began as a deviation quickly became a fan favorite, adding emotional depth that even book readers embraced. Now, Blood of My Blood has reintroduced both characters in their younger years, giving us a glimpse of who they were before fate ever brought them together. While the prequel hasn't yet sparked a full-fledged romance between them, the chemistry is already there, woven subtly into their interactions. There's an undeniable sense of foreshadowing, as if the story is quietly reminding us that some connections are inevitable, no matter how long they take to ignite. This time around, Murdoch and Yocasta are played by Rory Alexander and Steve Mallon, respectively. Taking on characters so strongly associated with beloved performances is no easy task, but both actors manage to capture the spirit of their predecessors, while still making the roles their own. They feel like authentic earlier versions of characters we already love, which only strengthens the emotional through line between the prequel and the main series. As satisfying as it is to see these younger incarnations, many fans can't help but hope this isn't the end of the story. With Outlander heading into its final season, the possibility of bringing back Duncan LaCroix and Maria Doyle Kennedy for one last appearance feels increasingly tempting. And in a show built on time travel, it's far from impossible. Yes, Murdoch died in Season 5, and Yocasta has largely disappeared from the narrative, but death has never been an absolute boundary in Outlander. Season 8 is expected to bring Claire's journey to a close, and endings like that almost always demand moments of reflection, symmetry, and reunion. Another trip through the stones could easily place Claire, or another traveler, into a moment where Murdoch or Yocasta were still alive. A reunion like that wouldn't feel cheap. It would feel earned, emotional, and perfectly in line with the show's mythology. It's also worth remembering that Murdoch has already defied fate once. His extended survival past Culloden was never part of the original books, yet it became one of the series' most meaningful creative choices. Without it, the Murdoch-Yocasta romance never would have existed. If the writers were willing to bend canon once to create something so powerful, there's no reason they couldn't do it again to give these characters a proper farewell. While nostalgia fuels one side of the prequel, Blood of My Blood is also dramatically rewriting what we thought we knew about Claire's past. The series confirms that Claire's parents, Henry and Julia Beauchamp, didn't die in a car accident as she believed. Instead, they traveled through time and became stranded in 18th century Scotland, separated by forces beyond their control. That revelation alone fundamentally alters Claire's origin story and ties her even more deeply to the supernatural rules of the Outlander world. Julia's storyline, in particular, has quickly become one of the prequel's most gripping threads. Trapped under the authority of Simon Fraser, Lord Lovat, she faces an impossible situation. In Episode 3, realizing she can't hide her pregnancy forever, Julia makes a devastating choice. She allows Lord Lovat to believe the child is his, even going so far as to share his bed to ensure the lie holds. It's a moment that underscores how little power she has, while also revealing her fierce determination to protect her unborn child at any cost. Episode 4 deepens the tension. Julia returns to Castle Leoch and formally tells Lord Lovat that the baby she's carrying is his. He's elated, already envisioning another son and a strengthened legacy. The audience, however, knows the truth. The child isn't his, and only Julia, Brian Fraser, and Guyless Duncan are aware of the deception. To everyone else, Julia has provided Lord Lovat with an heir, a lie that has the potential to reshape political alliances and ignite dangerous consequences. What makes Julia's story so compelling is its unpredictability. Unlike Brian and Alan Fraser, whose fates are well established through Jamie's history, Julia's future remains largely unknown. We know she won't live to raise Claire, but how her story ends and what impact it leaves behind is still a mystery. That uncertainty makes her one of the most fascinating and tragic figures in the prequel. Then there's the looming shadow of prophecy. Book readers will remember the Fraser prophecy, which claims that the next Scottish ruler on the English throne would come from Lord Lovat's line. In the novels, this belief causes enormous trouble for Brianna, while the TV series previously reworked it through Gillis Duncan and the infamous 100-year-old baby storyline. Blood of My Blood now appears to be blending these versions, potentially reintroducing the original prophecy in a new and unsettling form. Julia's unborn child could be central to that twist. Even though the baby isn't truly Lord Lovat's by blood, everyone around them will believe it is. And in Outlander, belief often carries more weight than truth. If Highland conspiracists rally around this child as the supposed fulfillment of the prophecy, the repercussions could stretch across generations. It's even possible that Claire could one day learn she had a sibling she never knew about, a revelation that would upend her understanding of who she is and where she comes from. Yes, these developments represent a major departure from Gabaldon's canon. The bold changes have always been part of what makes the television adaptation compelling. The Murtig-Jocasta romance was once a deviation too, and it became one of the show's most cherished storylines. Time and again, Outlander has proven that bending canon can deepen emotional impact rather than diminish it. As the franchise moves toward its conclusion, the possibilities feel richer than ever. Could we see Murtig and Jocasta reunited one last time? Will Claire uncover the truth about her parents' time-traveling past and a sibling she never knew existed? And could the prophecy finally come full circle, merging book lore and show mythology into something entirely new? Whatever the answers, one thing is clear: Outlander is saving some of its boldest storytelling for the end. With Blood of My Blood expanding the universe, and Season 8 preparing to tie together decades of storylines, the franchise still has plenty of surprises in store. And if the past has taught us anything, it's that Outlander never pulls its punches when it comes to love, loss, time travel, and destiny. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you next time.